comes to Anna and her journey, I would say it's really awesome, and I think it's very inspiring to a lot of people. Not only is she a stay-at-home mom, so she takes care of our daughter, she takes care of the house, and she does everything that's required of that. But she also has a disease that's known as lupus, where it attacks her kidneys. So she's had to overcome a lot of things just to be able to train in mixed martial arts. Her rheumatologist never recommended her training, and she stuck with it. She did it anyway, and because of that, she's taken this journey to the point where she's competing in submission grappling. Now she's competing in MMA, and now she is the first women's fight to be aired on Elite Amateur Fight League on their live card, which is awesome. It's a big thing. It's a big deal, and it's awesome for women's MMA as well. I think it just kind of shows that women are doing phenomenal things, and they're at the same level as men. They're putting on just as great of performances. They're bringing in just as many crowds, and Anna's ready. She's putting in the work. Her teammates have been pushing her. We're a tight-knit family here. We've been putting in a lot of hours, a lot of extra training, a lot of drilling, and she's ready for December 16th. Make no mistake, and we're very, very excited to see her get in there doing things.
So Anna's definitely really ready for this fight. One thing I will say about Anna is that she's always looking to get better. So even before she knew that she was going to take this fight, I know she was putting in a lot of work. Like we traveled, to different gyms and we've cross trained, and she's always watching fights. So her knowledge is really extensive. And so then when she knows that she has a fight, then she just really focuses down on that opponent and that night, and creates a timeline. But there's no doubt that she's ready for this, and that she's a hard worker, and it's a phenomenal fighter.
I think one of the biggest things is that she has the heart for this. She is just whatever she puts her mind to, she always makes sure to exceed any expectations anybody has for her. And it's just amazing. Training with her is incredible because she does think of the little details whenever we are training. She picks out these certain things that I wouldn't have even seen before she told me about them. Like her fighter IQ is through the roof. Like, again, training with her is absolutely amazing. And I love seeing the drive that she has. I'm so excited for this next fight for her. I think she's gonna dominate.
Welcome to another episode of the Bobby Experience. Today I have myself with me an MMA fighter who has an up-and-coming fight December 16th, right?
Yes, sir.
December 16th for the Elite Amateur Fight League at Victory Martial Arts, very own Anna the Honey Badger Summers.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing pretty well. First thing I want to ask, how did you get the nickname Honey Badger?
So I know, I'm not really sure if it was before that video surfaced. I know there's a viral YouTube video about a honey badger and how they don't give a crap, And actually one of our pro fighters here, Pierre Walters, actually gave me that nickname because when I'm on the mats, I'm technically the smallest fighter here, and I'll grapple anyone, and I'll be just as savage with the smallest person as I am the biggest person. So that's kind of how that name kind of came.
Oh, you need to be savage in this sport, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. So how did you get your start in mixed martial arts?
So actually, when I was in high school, I took a few classes at a school called Academy of Self-Defense in Evergreen Park, and my sister introduced it to me. Well, being the poor person that I am, I couldn't afford to continue classes, and I always had, I really loved it. I enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure I almost passed out the first time I was on the mats. Well, holding my breath, trying to throw as hard as I can, and I don't know, I just learned to love it, and I couldn't afford to keep up with the classes, so I stopped for a while. And life went on, and I did sports my whole life. And I met Danny actually at a UFC night at the bar that I worked at, and I originally got connected with one of his really good friends, Rhett Wheeler, who was managing the Orland gym at the time. And so I started there for the first month, and in that first month, Danny and I started dating. and just kind of stuck ever since. So yeah, that's basically my journey on how it started anyways. This was nothing like I started it as a child or anything, but I just think that I gravitated towards it because I loved the grind.
All right. So you've been training here at Victory to spin your camp. Tell us about your journey thus far, but in regards to the camp here.
Okay, so I usually try to stay ready at all times. I do have a 2-year-old, so I don't get to come to this actual gym as often, but I'm always training at home, whether it's hitting the bag, shadow boxing, workouts, training on the weekends with my husband, private lessons. I try to have coaches and high-level pro fighters come out to my home gym where I take private lessons there, and so I stay ready all the time. But I basically was talking to Danny one night, and we were in the process of some big life changes, and I said, I don't want to have to put off fighting. He's like, then don't. So I was like, okay. I was like, find me a fight. And so we had a few other opponents that didn't end up taking it. I guess they're not really opponents then. Some girls, you know. And then I was actually offered Kara for my very first fight. And I didn't feel prepared at that time to take a fight against a girl with 11 fights, having no fights. And I wanted to get my feet wet first, see if this was something I really wanted to pursue in general. So I took a fight, I believe it was in like March, maybe it was January, I don't remember, but against Christy Gar this past year. And then I fought again in July in the summer. And then I thought that I was going to take time off, and Danny's like, no, don't take any time off. So he's really supportive of the dream, even when we have a lot going on. And so yeah, that's how this came about.
All right, great. So who would you say are your favorite MMA fighters?
My favorite MMA fighters?
Yes.
Well, I have my Thug Rose shirt on.
All right.
I was a huge fan of hers when she was on The Ultimate Fighter. And also I would say Robbie Lawler, and one of Danny's favorites, GSP. So yeah, those are 3 of my like tops.
Oh, great. All right, so you have an upcoming fight December 16th. What do you know about your opponent? What can you tell us about it?
Well, I kind of mentioned this in another interview that I've been watching her fight for the last, I think it was about 4 years that she's been fighting MMA. I know that she did some Golden Gloves boxing. So she was kind of always on my radar just from the beginning. Even before I knew I wanted to fight, you know, it was a thought in my head, like, oh, maybe one day I'll fight this girl. And then it's kind of funny that she was the first girl I was ever offered. But yeah, I mean, I have an idea of her and what she's about and her style. And I think that, but regardless of whatever she brings, we'll be ready for it.
I'd switch gears briefly and ask you about an upcoming fight that Paige VanZant has on a UFC Fight Night. What are your predictions?
I think that Paige wins that by decision. I think she's going to be able to capitalize on some of Rachel's openings that she leaves in her striking, and I have an odd feeling that this one's going to go to the ground as much as I think both of them are going to want to stand with each other, but I just think it's going to be a decision. I don't think there's going to be a finish in that fight, but I do think it's a good matchup for both of them. So yeah, that's my prediction.
So who would you like to send a shout out to?
I would like to send a shout out specifically to my husband for this interview. He's my head coach, and he's wonderful, and I didn't get to mention him at any other time, and I just want him to feel appreciated.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you for being on this episode of the Bobby Experience. Anna, best wishes to you. Good luck on your upcoming fight, December 16th, amateur fight league. Best wishes to you again, and thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
All right. Tune in next time to the Bobby Experience. We'll have more guests, more interviews. Have a good day.